This coming Friday marks 1 year since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And while the devastating humanitarian and economic impacts have spread far and wide, one peculiar result can be seen at the pump. The average price of a gallon of gas is now down 13 cents from a year ago, according to AAA, averaging $3.40 per gallon today. Let's discuss why and where we are headed with Patrick Haan, GasBuddy head of Petroleum analysis. Good to see you, sir. How do you account for that number down 13 cents since the war began?
Well, I think there's a lot of certainty now, even though amidst uncertainty over how the war could continue to unfold. We're now 12 months into Russia's war in Ukraine, and a lot of the initial fears have not been realized. That is, the flow of oil from Russia does continue, though. Of course, there have been some challenges, a lot of sanctions, Russian promises to cut production, and overall as well, some help from the Fed, which is trying to restrain trying to restrain inflation by raising interest rates, thus acting to cool off consumption. And we are in the time of year that consumption is much weaker. So we've seen gas prices now cooling back off after jumping in late December and early January, as it was related to that cold weather that we had that really inundated refineries with shutdowns and cold weather related issues.
So Patrick, here we are today at $3.40, the national average for regular gas today. What do you think that number is going to look like as we head into the summer months?
Well, I think it will creep lower here over the next couple of weeks, as we still are in the time of year that demand is rather anemic. But in March and lasting through Memorial Day, I would expect some more fireworks to emerge. Now, all of this really not considering China and the reopening of their economy, which has really been slow as COVID cases have surged. So there's a lot of wild cards here, but the average increase between March and Memorial Day is in the neighborhood of 35 to 85 cents a gallon. So I do expect that we'll move higher. Much of the nation now is going to be starting the transition to more expensive summer gasoline in March. And with refineries also starting a big maintenance turnaround season, I think that will eventually lead to rising prices.
You have any thoughts on the plummet of natural gas, how long it will continue?
Boy, for natural gas, certainly being helped by lower than expected consumption in the U.S. We've had some cold weather blasts here and there, but overall, Mother Nature's been very favorable. And of course, a lot of a skirmish ahead of the winter last fall was to fill inventories. U.S. inventories have been adequate, and part of the reason is, of course, Freeport LNG's downtime. But now with their facilities back online, now with the closing innings of winter here, things are looking much better than we had initially feared. And I think there may have been an overreaction to natural gas, but be that as it may, natural gas, the question is, when could we see a one handle on natural gas?
Yeah, that chart is shocking. Real quickly, before we go, I've always wondered this about you because you know more about gas than anybody I know. Do you drive an EV?
I don't drive an EV. I drive an internal combustion engine. You got to still drive internal combustion if I'm going to be a petroleum analyst.
Okay, I always wondered that about you. When you pivot, we will know. You tell us, right? Patrick Haan, good
That's
to see
right.
you,
I will do that.
Check out
Thanks.
GasBuddy. Appreciate it.